Alright, so we got the full summary for 1069 here, and these are the spoilers that keep on giving, because it seems like twice now we have kind of been misled with what is fully happening in this chapter. I mean, we're getting closer to the truth with each spoilers that we go over, and it seems like these are for sure the most truthful. Like, this is pretty much 100% the chapter for sure, guys, at least if you've been able to see leaked panels and whatnot. But the main thing is LUCCI, and before we go into it, I'll just say right now that LUCCI is way stronger than we thought. The fight is not as one-sided as we were told it was. We're gonna see that it actually makes things a lot more exciting, but let's get into it. Chapter starts with LUCCI trying to attack Luffy. Kaku and Stussy stop LUCCI, saying they need to get permission from Marine HQ to fight a Yonko because any fight can lead to a war. So yeah, that kind of puts things into perspective. Sometimes I'm like forgetting that Luffy is like, you know, actively a Yonko, you know, like he's literally the equivalent of like, you know, attacking a Big Mom or a Shanks or a Kaido at this point, because you know we're so accustomed to Luffy being the MC, how seriously important or significant he is at this point in the story. Luffy sees that Atlas was heavily damaged, so he attacks LUCCI first. Cut to Akainu in Marine headquarters. He asks where Kizaru is. A Marine reports that Kizaru is already on his way to Egghead Island. Okay, so this is another thing that we're getting a serious update on. Originally we were told that Akainu said that Kizaru can't go to Egghead. Then the second time we were told that Akainu said that Kizaru could go to Egghead. Now it's just he's already on his way. So this is like really exciting. We talked about this yesterday, but like I think this is probably gonna lead to Kizaru taking on Luffy, right? And this is like the next big test for him possibly. Gear 5 Luffy versus freaking Kizaru. And like I said, that's also gonna cause some serious debates because it goes back to the age-old Yonko versus Admiral. And I'm just really looking forward to seeing what happens. But I think this definitely means that Kizaru is for sure going to show up in this arc. And it also kind of lines up with, you know, the admirals usually showing up to these big arcs, you know, post time skip. So yeah, in the next chapter or two, I fully expect Kizaru to show up there. And man, that's gonna be amazing. Back to Egghead Island, Luffy and LUCCI fight. Luffy uses Gear 5 and LUCCI uses his awakened form. LUCCI's awakened form is very similar to his slender hybrid form. LUCCI's back furs now look like black clouds / flames. He has black clouds of steam floating around his neck, similar to Luffy in Gear 4 or Gear 5. So this is a very accurate description. He does look slimmer, but he does have like these black clouds that look very similar to Luffy. It's interesting, but I guess it just goes into the finer details of like awakened devil fruits. Like maybe they all kind of eventually start looking like the same aesthetic because what they all mutually inherently are, possibly. Or it's just a design that Oda likes. But first, let's talk about the sponsor of this video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of online classes and members across 150 countries. It's a place to get inspired, learn new skills, and put them to work in impactful ways. And of course, they have tons of classes that you can use to improve yourself in all professional fields, such as with myself being a content creator. I'm constantly editing using the program Adobe Premiere. Skillshare can actually help me with that using the class Advanced Video Editing with Adobe Premiere Pro by Jordan Vandeput. But it's not just all editing, because I need creativity to make the video in the first place to edit. And Skillshare has also helped me with that with the Find Your Style 5 Exercises to Unlock Your Creative Identity class by Andy J. Pizza. This is actually a really fun course that taught me so many things that I had no idea about before. I never realized how creatively limited I was before I actually took this course. And I can tell you right now that if you're in any kind of artistic field, or you want to join one, or you're simply just trying to find yourself, this class will certainly help you with that. But also guys, the first 1,000 people that use my link will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. And you can find my link in the description below the video. Thanks guys. Sentomaru orders S-Bear to attack CP0. Jinbei and Chopper run carrying Bonnie, and they cross paths with the Seraphim. Jinbei is in shock. Kaku and Stussy are busy avoiding S-Bear attack. They don't want to fight back and damage the Seraphim. Nami's group is watching what happens on the monitors. They are astonished to see Luffy's Gear 5. Vegapunk appears before them, and Frankie's eyes turn into hearts when he discovers that this old man is the real deal. Vegapunk asks the Straw Hats what Luffy's new form is, and Nami replies that they don't know either, but she thinks it should be a new Gamu no Mi power. Vegapunk says the Gamu Gamu no Mi has never been recorded in the ancient Devil Fruit Encyclopedia. Vegapunk says Luffy's new form looks like Nika, a god that can only be found in ancient texts. Vegapunk says maybe Nika's name has been erased from history, but as as long as people continue wishing for him, Nika's existence will never disappear. Okay, so this expands upon what we talked about in yesterday's spoiler, about how it said that the mythical Nika fruit wasn't recorded in the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia, and I was like, yeah, that makes sense because it was covered up. But apparently just the Gomu Gomu no Mi, just the rubber fruit, which is what it was disguised to be, wasn't even in the Devil Fruit Encyclopedia in the first place. And Vegapunk, of course, knows who Nika is, but he's saying that he was a god, of course, because the fruit has to be based off of something. But he's kind of implying that he like actually existed at one point, and that, you know, people keep wishing for him, so his existence never disappeared. This could mean that Joy Boy was like Nika, the actual godlike being, and that he didn't just eat the fruit, but more so that the fruit was based on him maybe, or that his soul went into the fruit, or a piece of it went into it. Again, that's not concrete. It's also very likely that Joy Boy just ate the fruit and became Nika as well, but it seems like there could be more to it at this point. Vegapunk continues saying that everything on Earth is born out of people's wishes, and the same goes for the devil fruits as well. Their weakness is seawater. All ability users who bear that curse are basically living in the future that someone once wished for. Nami and the Straw Hat crew are stunned. So yeah, we also talked about this yesterday, and this is giving us more insight into the devil fruits, way more than what we had before, where it says that like devil fruits are born out of people's wishes. And I don't know if that literally means that devil fruits like came to be from thoughts being manifested, like the tangible fruit and the trees that they come from, or the alleged trees that they come from, but more so just their abilities. And that totally makes sense because a lot of the fruits are just so oddly specific and are based off of like ideas, things that obviously don't occur in nature. So it's understandable that wishes gave birth to their abilities, but how that happens, I'm sure there's more to it than just simply people having these thought entities manifest. Cut to Luffy versus LUCCI. They clash while Luffy is smiling and laughing all the time. He's jumping around having fun while avoiding LUCCI's attacks. Luffy uses a new attack called Gomu Gomu no Mogura, which is Gum Gum Mole. He turns the floor into a fist that punches LUCCI's stomach, making him cough up blood and blowing him away. Alright, so that's amazing. And what I'm taking away from this is that he's not literally like turning the floor to the fist, but he's more so rubberizing the floor, you know, with his awakened abilities, and then kind of just molding it to be a fist. And of course, this is wrecking LUCCI. And the spoilers previously made us seem as though this was the fight. It's just he uses this attack and he one-shots LUCCI, but that is not the case. In fact, they actually clash in this sequence. And there's even more to it, of course, because this is not taking down LUCCI. Yes, it's hurting him and blowing him away, but he's still very much in the fight. Sentomaru appears with S-Snake, S-Hawk, and S-Shark. Seraphim cannot be commanded using the Denden Mushi, so Sentomaru must be there with them to give orders. The level of authority to command Seraphim is the Gorosei, Vegapunk, Sentomaru, and anyone who holds the command chip. CP0 has it now. Okay, so Sentomaru is there, and it seems like he is having his face turn here, which we'll get into, but I also fully expected him to lose control of the Seraphims, and that for CP0 to gain control of them, because like I said, they're just a little too powerful, and the stakes wouldn't be high if they were like fighting on the side of the protagonist, you know what I mean? Luffy stops when he sees Sentomaru and greets him. He's talking friendly with him while he's bouncing around. Sentomaru was picked up by Vegapunk and liberated from his life of poverty, which is the reason he owes Vegapunk a great debt and chooses to fight against CP0. Sentomaru asks Luffy for some. Straw Hat, please take Vegapunk away with you. So yeah, it happened. I speculated that there was like a good chance that Sentomaru could have like a face turn here, and it's happening. And he's fighting against CP0 on behalf of Vegapunk, which I'm totally on board with. LUCCI recovers while Luffy and Sentomaru are talking. He then uses Soru to charge fiercely and attack Sentomaru with Shugon, hand pistol. And Sentomaru is badly hurt. So yeah, LUCCI getting up moments after getting blasted by Luffy and just hand pistoling Sentomaru like straight through his stomach here. I wouldn't be surprised if Sentomaru gets killed by this, to be honest. It also makes sense because, you know, turn face, then die. LUCCI says all we need to do is eliminate the commander. Then the Seraphim will obey our commands. Luffy is shocked and angry. Axe guy! And that's where the chapter ends. So yeah, this is so much more exciting than what the original spoilers led us to believe. Yeah, it would have been fine if Luffy just took down LUCCI, but like I said, there needs to be some stakes here. It can't just be that easy. And I'm not saying that LUCCI's gonna win or anything. Obviously, he's not. At least not against Luffy in a 1v1 Gear 5. But he is going to pull some stuff here. And now we have LUCCI in his awakened form, who is really powerful, seemingly stronger than what a Yonko commander typically is, right? Or at least right up there with the strongest of the strongest commander. I mean, I'll put in the title or something that he could be stronger than Kaido, but you know, the only other opponent the Gear 5 had is Kaido, and LUCCI's surviving here. But then also we have Kizaru on the way. So it's like, things are getting so exciting. Let me know what you thought about this chapter in the comments, guys. And if you liked the video, please give it a like and please subscribe if you haven't already. Have a great day. I'll see you in the next one.